Hello museum friends, it's Anne here, and today I'm going to show you how to make a delightful little chubby bird. We're going to start with two different sizes of styrofoam balls and my favorite paste, which is wallpaper border paste, and some old newspaper. On the 3-inch styrofoam ball, you will notice that it has a seam right down the middle, and we're going to use that line as our guide throughout the project. On the smaller size styrofoam ball, we're going to cut it in half, and I just use a regular steak knife, something fairly sharp. Once that's cut in half, I take a toothpick and I find that line on the larger ball, the 3-inch ball, and I stick the toothpick in about 1/4 of an inch so that it's nice and secure. And then I find the center of the smaller styrofoam ball and push it right over the toothpick so that the two are adhered together. With the excess toothpick sticking out of the ball, I just break it off with my pliers. We're going to use newspaper to make our tail, our beak, and our eyes. And we're going to start by thinking about what you want. Like, you want your tail going up or down, you want it narrow, wide. I use masking tape to place my tail and my eyes and nose. It's very forgiving, and if you're not sure where you want the placement to be, you can just pull it off and re-stick it back on until you get the right angle and the right placement. That seam on the styrofoam ball to guide where I place the head and the tail and the two eyes so that they're all lined up together. To make the chubby bird eyes, I just crinkled up some of the newspaper and taped it down with the masking tape. I didn't like my first beak, so I ripped it off and decided to try a different shape. And I just ended up rolling up the newspaper in kind of a cone shape and just cutting it until I felt like I had the size I wanted. What I like to do with my border paste, I like to pour a little bit of it into an old plastic container, like a cottage cheese container or something, so that it's easier to get to. Then I will tear up my newspaper strips, and I found that about 1/2 inch works best, maybe even smaller, 1/4 of an inch for this bird project. You want to dip your fingers into the wallpaper paste, and I like to apply some of it to the styrofoam cone and also to the newspaper strips. Then just start covering up the whole bird. one piece at a time. You want to make sure that when you're placing the newspaper pieces that you're smoothing them out against the styrofoam ball. To make sure that the tail is nice and sturdy, I took my strips of paper and placed them in several different directions at the base of where the tail starts. After you've got 2 coats of your paper on your bird, let it dry completely and do 2 more coats. I'm going to show you 2 different styles of making bird legs. This first one is rather difficult if you're not used to bending wire. I start with 11 inches of wire, and of course it all depends on how long you want your bird legs to be. As you can see in the video, I use both my hands and a needle nose plier to bend the wire for the feet. I estimate about 1/2 inch for each toe. It might take a little practice to make the pair of feet look the same, but don't give up. It's fun once you get it down. It may take a little bit of time to figure out where you want your feet. It is hard to estimate where to put them if you're thinking about it balancing. But just remember, once you get your feet into your styrofoam ball, you can manipulate it and move them so that they will stand on their own. With a pencil, I mark where I want my legs to go into the body. Once I get that mark, I take the needle nose pliers and I take the little wire foot and push it in to the styrofoam about 1/2 inch. Once I have my legs in the body of my bird, I take a little bit of masking tape and wrap it around the wire and the body of the bird so that they don't wiggle. Once they're secure, I take a few strips of my newspaper and wallpaper paste and cover up the masking tape and just go down a little bit on the bird leg so it looks like it's all firm and attached. Because I like decoupage so much, I'm going to show you how to make one of these cute chubby birds using paper punches and magazine pages. What I like about the wallpaper border paste so much is that it's not as tacky as glue. So you can just keep working, layering and layering your pieces without really them sticking to your fingers. Because the decoupage takes quite a while to do, it being creative and all, you might want to just paint your little chubby bird with some paint. In this case, I decided to do a yellow bird, but I want you to know that when you use yellow, it's quite transparent, so it's good to mix it in with a tan or a white so that you don't have to do as many coats. With this delightful little yellow chubby bird, I'm going to show you a simpler way of making bird legs. We'll need about 4 or 5 inches of wire, and what we're going to do is take your needle nose pliers and push it into the styrofoam ball about 1/2 inch. What I've realized is sometimes it's hard to get the wire to go in, so I have used a nail to start the hole, and then I push the wire in. I found a piece of driftwood to use as my base for my bird. With a pencil, I marked 2 dots where I wanted the legs to attach to the wood piece. Then I took my hammer and nail and hammered 2 holes into the wood piece so that I could get the wire legs attached. Once it was attached, I realized that I had to balance it out, for it was a little bit top heavy. So I just maneuvered the wire of the legs a little until it was perfectly balanced. I hope you enjoyed making this delightful little chubby bird.